Okay, welcome to phase 5, kind of. I mean, we're still in phase 4, but we're going to do prep work for phase 5. And prep work for phase 5 is actually going to start over there. We're going to head to some coal patches. But before we do that, before you leave this base, I highly recommend you just fill your inventory with aluminum sheets for days. We're going to want aluminum sheets on our hands as much as we can. Because we're just going to be belting. It's going to be lots of belts. Lots of belts. That's all I can really say about that. So we're going to head over here, and we're just going to yoink aluminum sheets from this. If you want to get rid of a few slots, it might not hurt to have concrete and iron plates on hand. I'm going to pick those up really quickly. And then we're going to meet right here. There's a bunch of coal patches right here. That's where we're going to be. See you then. Also, everyone, happy birthday, Satisfactory. Yay! We've got work to do, so we can't really celebrate, but yay, happy birthday! Alright, so right here in this valley is where we're going to be working, and there are a lot of natives that are not going to like us. So let's just have our miner mark 3 selected, so that we can place these down pretty quickly. There should be 4 patches in here, and we do need power shards. Because, of course, we have to actually... Well, we don't have to max these ones out. These ones just need to go to 780. We can't go beyond 780 because we don't have belts for beyond 780. So, yep. The pure nodes, of which there are 3, have to go to 780 items. And there is an impure... Or, it's not impure, it's normal. There's a normal node here. And that one has to go all the way. So the impure node has to go all the way. The others only need 2 shards. Come on. Okay, I can't move apparently. Stuck in the mud. Place that in there. Perfect. That's not right. Oh no, that is right. Okay, great. Alright, then we just gotta get these all hooked up to each other via... power poles. There are some not so friendly plants here. Go away. Okay. We need to run belts for all of these. And as I said, if you could just... Oh, it is gone. Okay. Doing this while trying to avoid the natives. Best I can, mostly just because I don't want to deal with them. Okay, so we have our belts of copper here, and we need to split these. Okay, great. Because we need to get these on 6 separate belts. So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna get these all onto 6 separate belts. So first they need to be put into their own splitter, and then we're gonna need 4 mergers. These ones here are gonna be the 1 splitters, and these are gonna be the 2 splitters. So essentially, if you split the 1 splitters together, so Jesus. Wildlife is not going to be too friendly. You can sit there and think about what you've done. So, bottom splitter to top, bottom splitter to bottom, and then you just do that on the other side. Bottom splitter to bottom splitter to top splitter to bottom, top splitter to top merger. So now what you've done is you've taken them and you've separated them in half. So that if this is the A splitter, so A splitter, B splitter, C splitter, D splitter, these are both a mix of A and B, and these are both a mix of C and D. Which then means if you run these mergers straight into another set of splitters, so the ones right in front of them would be nice. And then we run those into 6 mergers now. Which we can, I guess, do like this. Centralize this one a little bit more. Ugh. Okay, great. Then on these ones, basically these A and B splitters, one section needs to go to the bottom. So the bottom one goes to all the bottom ones. And then the top one goes to all the top ones. Then the same idea happens here. The top one goes to all the top ones. I don't know why I'm on curve mode, but whatever. And the bottom one goes to all the bottom ones. Just like so. And there you have it. This is now separated into 6 belts. Now, we don't particularly need to do anything with this right now, but we do need to get this power. And we should have power somewhere up here where the rail lines are. Our copper mining should be right over here, give or take. And we should be able to leech power from this. Again, taking every opportunity we can to avoid the local wildlife. Okay. Next up, we need S.A.M. And we're gonna bring S.A.M. We'll probably just work in this area-ish. But the S.A.M. we want is actually these ones to the south of us. Also, there's a dismantle crate. Oh, because my inventory's a mess? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I also don't want whatever copper. So we're gonna head to the south here. And let's be wise and take power with us, yeah. In fact, if we're taking power with us, we should... I should not have taken that damage. We should probably use a power tower. That's what they're designed for, after all. Ow. So the reason we're looking for S.A.M. to the south of us is because we need something like 1,400 S.A.M. Give or take. It's quite a bit, and I think our first S.A.M. node is on top of that hill right here. Yes. And this looks a little tricky, but just get over here, set a power pole down, put your hover pack on, or get rid of it. That's cool too. I love when that happens. Put your hover pack on. Hover pack on. Alright, you should be able to deal with anything that's here, although I don't know what that is. Let's ping and find the S.A.M. node again. Oh, but still further along. That just got rid of my jetpack. I don't know what has caused this to happen. This didn't used to happen. You used to be able just to switch between. But whatever. I swear I'm on top of a S.A.M. node. I am. Where is that S.A.M. node? Must be below us. Oh. Must be below us. Let's go find out. Whee! Oh, wow. Look at that. You never would have guessed where it was. So we're just going to milk these S.A.M. nodes for all we can get out of them. Which this one's going to need 2 shards so that we can get it to 780. And we're going to have to run this belt a ways, but for now, let's just take it up with us. Which, if you're clever about this, you can go straight through stone. I don't know if that's going to work out for us. Yep, I just got rid of it again. Hover pack, please. Oh yeah, that's gonna work out super swell. Beautiful. Pack. We're on kind of a time crunch because we want to get as much done as we can before space parts are done, but, you know, can't have all nice things, I guess, or whatever. Okay, let's find the rest of our SAM nodes, which hopefully we can see them from up here. There'd be one under that outcrop, and then there's one off in the distance. Okie dokie. And I'm hoping that I'm going to the right ones. So this one should be impure, question mark? Okay, wonderful. And of course, like all these, it has a bunch of friends. I don't even know why I'm bothering to shoot them. Let's just get a miner mark 3. Let's just place it down. Let's just grab power. Oops. That's fine on this, I don't care. We need to max this out. And then I could have done this from my inventory. We'll just need to run that over that way. Okay, so the next one we need, let's see, where are we? Next one we need is over here. I know there was one that was pinged in this direction, but it actually produces too little. We need one more that produces just a little bit more. So we're going to venture over to here. I don't know if the ping will show it, but it's right there, I think. Doesn't look like the ping wants to show it, which is fine. We'll just travel there really quickly. Of course, it too appears to be underground, so we'll have to investigate. Fair warning, I believe there's a spider somewhere here. One of the big, not friendly ones. So this is probably not the best place in the world to make more miners, but I need more. So, what are you gonna do? So again, there's probably a big spider somewhere around here. Memory serves and tells me that there is. I don't see it, but not trying to befriend it either. We need all the production we can from this, so max her out and get that full 600. And then we gotta take this belt on a field trip with us, so here we go. This, by the way, is why we have a bunch of aluminum sheets on us. And yes, obviously, we could have built a train for this, but even more obviously, I don't want to. Trains overall take longer to set up, like time-wise, versus belts, and for the quantity of things we need and how far they, on average, need to go, I just don't think it's worth it. I have no idea why there's a power pole out here. What? Why is there power here? Is this the power pole I just ran? There's no way that's the power pole I just ran. Where's the rest of my SAM? There's one up this way. That's where we're heading. Yep, let's keep it moving. Ooh, is this where the spider is? Could be. Doesn't seem like it, though. Oh, I just died. Oh! I'm very, very lucky. Okay, that's fine. Our other SAM node is down here. Not radiation. I don't want to die to radiation. That'd be embarrassing. Okay, now where's our next SAM node so that we can get back to it? It's up here, right? Is it straight above us? Yeah, it's straight above us, essentially. Okay, cool, cool. So let's just get this close to the mountainside. And then once we're close to the mountainside, we can just use lifts to bring it up. Ah, we should bring these to that, not the other way around. Okay. Bring these two on over here. We just want to roughly approach this one. And then we can just build a little platform here. This does not need to be too big, I don't think. Sure. Something like, I don't know, this seems fine for now. We'll figure out actual sizes in a second. I don't think we're going to use blueprints for this. Does it make any sense to use blueprints? No, it doesn't. This is too small. And we need fast belts. Okay, so if we make 3 rows of 4, that should work out well. We're making Reanimated SAM, and we're going to need like 13 of these machines. And they consume an obnoxious amount, as you can see, right? So we should just be able to do something like this, 4 in each section. Have one section that is a 5er. Let's just expand this a little bit this way. Right. And then have another section of 4 skis. We can just manifold this. Because we don't need it at full capacity right now. And when we do need it at full capacity, we will have plenty of time to, like, let it get there. So don't worry about it being all perfect. Yeah, that lined up. Okay. But that did not, though. Okay, this one at the end that is also doing SAM needs to be set to 34%. Okay, then belting will be a really simple process. Okay. Power pole, power pole. Oops, that's all I meant to do. Power pole. Hello? Whatever, power pole, power pole, power pole, power pole. Power pole, power pole, power pole, power pole, power pole. Oh. Everything should be yellow. For our mergers, I am just going to put them on top of the splitters, because we should be able to make that connection, right? Yes, beautiful. And then just run that straight across into a merger at the end like that. And then we can just do that for this row as well. Beautiful. We can just take that and run that in like that, I guess. That seems fine to me. Last section, we can do one of these types of setups. Boom, 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 boom. And then this is the output. Just where is my elevator? That'll work. Lift it up. I don't know, take it over, it doesn't really matter much. And just curve it in. Love the way that looks. Alright, and this is going to be our output that we're going to take across the map with us. And the output on this is like 300 a minute or something. So these output really slowly. It's like 400 almost, but nobody cares. So we don't have to really worry about that. Okay, next, we're going to do a 3 to 3 balancer. And, well, it's pretty simple. In fact, we can do the totem, right? Let's do the totem pole. Splitter, let's go from this way. 1, 2, 3. Merger. 1, 2, 3. Go straight across with all of them. And then go, let's do this on straight. Bottom to middle. Bottom to top. Top to bottom. Top to middle. Middle to bottom. Middle to top. And there you go. There's your simple balancer. Then you just take this and run these into the inputs, which are here, here, and there. And as long as everything has a recipe, which this one does, but it doesn't have power, everything should be good to go. So you just plug these in. And we should see production begin to rev up, and, well, there you have it. And as I said, it'll take care of the manifolding on its own. Don't you even worry about that. We don't need this running at full capacity until, like, a little bit into phase 5. So we're just going to run this down to the ground. Okay, we're going to start a little platform. I think we're going to start it off of this here. Yeah, that seems fine to me. So let's just get a foundation. Just go a little vertical with it. Doesn't exactly matter. We kind of want to be just above everything in the general vicinity. And if you're concerned about your ability to get up here, you can make a ramp down. I'm not going to do that, though. We can just fly. Then once we get power up here, it'll be even easier to get up here, so I'm really not worried about it. This is a big enough start for now. Pro tip, as you've burned through a lot of your aluminum sheets, just every once in a while come in here and pull out the 600. That way you don't really have to worry about going back ever. Yeah, so there's that. We're going to leave that alone for right now. Where is our coal? Our coal's over here, so we're going to get the coal lines up here as well. And we are going to run all 6 of them. So that they're all ready to go for when we... God bless it, man. Go away. We're going to run all 6 of them up here so that when we need them, they are ready for us. And the easiest way to do this is just run them to the max height. And they'll just stack up on top of each other. Go away. In a way that you can really easily bring them here. And you don't need to keep track of, like, which line's which, because they should all be balanced, right? And yes, there are nicer ways to run this, but, whatever. And I wish we could run this on less belts, but we really can't. It does mean we could have done the merging or the 6 to 6 somewhere over here, but whatever, it's too late for that. I don't know why I did that. Or that. It's fine. None of it matters. Just keep bringing them over. Alright. 5 left. And then we can bridge this out just a little bit more like that, so it's all good to go. Okay, great. We also right now need to bring iron here and copper, right? Yes, okay. Our iron should be really close by. There should be some, like, literally right where I'm looking. Ah, slightly over here. Oh, it's, like, right under us. Okay, great. Well, let's get that. Are you iron? Hello, iron. Whatever this is, it's going to be enough. Yep. Because we do not need all that much. We can just be lazy and bring it straight through the platform. If you want, you can... I'll run it out. Just because we're obviously going to build within the realm of our platform. I didn't straighten that out either. Let's also go get power from the coal down here. Nope. Go bring that up with us up here. And obviously that needs to be fed to this miner. Okay, copper is a little bit more annoying because there actually isn't any super close to us. So this is like the last-ish belt we have to run a half mile. But the nearest copper that we aren't using is like back to the south with this line. So if you follow that line basically straight back to the south, and then we gotta go to the swamp. So I guess it's actually a little east. I'll ping it and show it to you when we get closer. But we're gonna be stealing copper from the swamp. Shrek would not approve, but that's fine. We don't need Shrek's approval where we're going. I doubt we can ping it just yet. We'll go by Quartz, and we'll pick up power. Wherever quartz is. Quartz is like right here, isn't it? Yeah, it's literally right here. I found it! Okay. I'm running the wrong type of pole, but that's okay. We'll fix that in just a second. Okay. Oh, right. There's already a power pole here. Alright, so we're going to land here. Somewhere this way is the copper we're looking for. Let's take a look. It should be right here-ish? Okay. So we're going to follow the marker. Looks like it's just straight past this balloon. As it were. Uh-oh, I did not want to touch the ground. I did not want to touch the ground! Fuck! That scared the shit out of me. I'm just gonna die here. I'm like, I deserve to die. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm such a fucking ape. Oh my god. Give myself a fucking heart attack. Oh, the copper's right in front of us. Okay. I'm gonna keep moving. Oh, it's attacking something, not me. That's wonderful. Oh, I do not know. I think this is a peer node. And I kind of don't want to check if I'm gonna be so honest with you. Okay, it's a peer node. And I'll double check, but a peer node is more than enough, right? Yes, a peer node is significantly more than enough. Okay. Okay, while we're here, we're gonna run a few things on through. One is we actually want this Caterium that's up here, and I don't know how much of it we want. Oh, is it not up here? Is it down here? It might be below us. It's below us. Of course it is. Oh, that's right. There's a cave under here, isn't there? Yeah, I think there is. Yep. Well, let's just bring power down here. I'm sure this cave is going to be peaceful and not hostile in any way, shape, or form. Great. We don't need much Caterium, but we need some. Unfortunately, I have to go in here and check to see if this is enough. It is not. But that is. So the exact amount you need is 360. I think there's a better node in there. But between you and me, I don't want to go into that cave any further than I have to. So if I can just go that far, that sounds great to me. Okay, we're almost done collecting resources. Wait, fuck. I cannot catch a break with this guy. We also need to collect the quartz that's here. And I have no idea how much we need to collect or if this is enough. Actually, I don't know if this is definitely enough. Oh, I'll double check while I'm dying, though. Yes, this is enough. Okay, great. But of course this needs power, and who knows where power is. Okay, so these three belts, we're just gonna run back to that platform we just made. And hopefully we have a fairly peaceful journey. As peaceful can be. I mean, these guys do not want to leave me alone for even a minute. Which is a shame. I've been nothing but nice. Okay, so first thing we're going to need to do is take our iron, which is this right here, and one of our coal lines, and we're just going to run it into 3 foundries. 3 foundries. Most of the stuff we're going to do right now is not, like, enough to warrant blueprints, so don't expect any blueprinting right now, or blueprint usage, because we are kind of doing things a little simply. I have no idea. Okay, you're cool. Great. And these are obviously going to be making steel. And we can obviously hook these up together. And we can get started on steel production. Now, what we're currently working towards is we are currently working towards making S.A.M Fluctuators, which obviously we've never made, other than by hand. So I guess technically if you had automated these at some point in time in any, like, reasonable quantity, you might not need to do this. But we do need these S.A.M Fluctuators for other things we're going to be doing in the future, so that's why we're doing this now. This takes 1, 2, 3... Nope. 4, 5 constructors. Sure. To make steel pipes. So these are all making steel pipes. Got a power line. 1, 2, 3. Boom. There they are. They're all powered. One of these is on 50%, so it's 5 of them with 1 on 50%. And then we're just going to split this. However we split this, it doesn't exactly matter because, as I've said multiple times, manifolding will get the job done. What does matter is that it actually splits. Or it actually lets me belt it in. And then we can just do something like this. And something like that. Beautiful. And this will get us our steel pipes. Alright, and then we're gonna need 3 manufacturers. 1, 2, 3. Which in retrospect that might be a bad spot for that, but that's okay. It is what it is. And what do these things take? They take those things. You might want to give yourself a little bit more room than I just gave myself here. I did not give myself much room to work with, but I will make it work because I don't care about how this looks. So obviously, each one of these splitters just needs to run into each one of the manufacturers however it can. Something about like that. And then one of those is steel pipes. Let's get these all hooked up. Beautiful. These all need to be set to making fluctuators. Awesome. Great. Next up, we need to bring some wires over. And this is what most of our copper is going to be used for. So we're going to need, what, 4 smelters, I think? Yes, we need 4 smelters. So we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a splitter. Again, we're in kind of who cares manifold territory because the belts are moving so fast and these things are not being consumed that quickly. Yoink, 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 yoink. Nope, not that one. Yoink. Which one use copper? This one's copper. So, copper ingot, paste, paste, paste. Paste, it's 4.5, so set the last one to a half. I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. And I placed this pole poorly because it's going to be in the way of our mergers, but that's also okay. Run them all together, just like so. And then we're going to need 5 constructors, which we can do like this. And this one is actually 5 constructors. Nope. 4, 5, that's 5 constructors. And then same idea as before. Now we do need this copper for something else. But that first splitter can split it towards the other thing as well, so it will be a-okay. That splitter right there, we can just have that for later. This is going to be making copper wire at 100% efficiency, please. Not 50%. Alright, and then it's the same story. It needs power. Boom. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, this can all run on the same belt, correct? Yep. That's not a merger. This is a merger. And let's do this. That. Run these all in together. And then run that into there. Great. Next up, we're going to need to get this in here somehow. And, well, I mean, we can just go straight through the machines. Whatever, I don't care. I have never once cared. Beautiful. Okay, and that should be all of these revving up. Now, obviously, that isn't all that this is going to be used for. So actually, let me run that into a splitter first before we let it carry on its way. Because obviously, we're going to need this for some other stuff. We didn't make an absolute butt ton of this just for it to go into these 3 machines. Okay, next up, we just need to merge them. All onto one belt line. Pick that belt line down here. Let's slap it into industrial storage. With a dimensional depot on top. Oh, the irony of missing S.A.M Fluctuators for the depot that is going to be holding those. I love that for us. Okay, and that is S.A.M Fluctuators all done and dusted. Okay, next up, we need to make a little bit more aluminum. Unfortunately, which just is the way it goes, right? So we need to get our hands on some bauxite, and I believe there's some, like, right in here somewhere. And this, by the way, is the last long belt we need to run. Is a little lengthy, though. The good news is any one of these will work for the quantity we need, so let's just get a power and get running, yeah? I didn't really want a power tower with the platform, but that doesn't really matter to me. Alright, off to the south we go. Let's, place the next power. And then let's ping it again. Hopefully that was the right ping, so we know where we're going. I'm just gonna go to the one that is the closest to where I currently am. Which is that right there. Unfortunately, we're next to the spicy. Oh, we're next to a lot of spicy. Okay, you gotta be very careful when getting this one, just by the way. Stay far away from that one. I can hear someone's not very happy with me. The good news is, with the Mark III, I do not need to check to see if it's enough or not, because I guarantee who it is. Oh, boy. This is not a fun area to be. It's another guy who could easily get mad at me. A little dangerous in there, but we just keep moving. Invalid placement, why? Okay, we can just keep expanding the platform bit by bit. Sure. Okay, for this build, we're gonna need water, aren't we? It'll be fine. It will be fine. Okay, we're gonna have to pipe water up, but whatever. We'll make it work. Alright, we need a 2 refinery setup, of course. These are not gonna even run at full refineries. So first up, alumina solution, which we're gonna put to 75%. There's power somewhere here. Great. So we're going to set that 75% there. And then this one we're going to set to 37.5%. So 37.5%, 75%. That way the output can feed into this, obviously. Boom, just like that. That's not correct at all. Boom, just like that. Then this needs some coal, which is what one of these belts is for, I believe. No, that we're just gonna put a splitter on this belt. Yeah. So we're just gonna yoink coal from that belt, run that into there. Okay, then this is gonna need some water, and And, yeah, we're gonna have to get that up here, aren't we? That's gonna be annoying. In the meanwhile, we can give it its bauxite. There you go, beautiful. There's your bauxite. We're gonna want to do something with the silica. So we'll just put that there for now. Let's go and get our water. There should be water right here. Kind of wonder if this water over here is better. I like this water better. Let's get this water. We're only gonna need one extractor, so we don't need like a huge lake or anything. Okay, then you just need to set this to 75%? 75%. And then let's run a pipeline junction, and what you can actually do is you can put a pump right here, because headlift doesn't, like, go down per distance. So whatever the headlift is, the headlift is. So this will give us 50 meters of headlift, which is probably enough to get us up there. Might be close. We'll probably have to use a second pump. So don't be shocked if you have to use a second pump here. We will not give it a second to find out. We'll come back and check on it in a few minutes because I would rather just keep moving forward. Which is what? We need 2 foundries. That was really close. I have foundries here somewhere, right? Where are they? Am I standing on them? I'm standing on them. Yeah, we can do something like this and that. Okay, then we can just run a splitter here and here, which will be the aluminum scrap coming out. We need to take the water and run it back in to this water here. So slap a pipeline junction there, run that in there, set a valve right there so that the water can only go that way. And for funsies, let's set a valve right here so the water can only go this way into the junction. That should be fine. Let's go and check on water. It's coming. Okie dokie, looks like it's still coming. It does take a little bit for liquids to travel, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay, next up, we need to do something with silica. So, obviously, some of the silica is going to go... Well, obviously, all of the silica is going to go into this. Duh. And we're just going to run it in just like that. And because we're perfectly balancing our silica, we won't have to worry about it. 2 constructors down here. Place a merger there. These 2 constructors are going to make silica. Which, of course, is what we needed our quartz for. 2 splitters out the back. Give them power like so. Take this belt. Run it over into this merger. And there you have it. We should have silica that feeds in to these machines, which are going to be set to aluminum. Which needs power like so. Alright, let's check on water. Are we still coming up? I mean, it was still coming up to me. It's just a little slow, just a little slow. Okay, so that should be all of the aluminum stuff done. And then, how are we doing on time? We're still doing okay. We need to turn that stuff into aluminum sheets. Which, honestly, we can just kind of do something like this, yeah? It's good to me. Alright, 3 assemblers. 1, 2, 3. Obviously, merge these together. Run that into a splitter. And the splitter separates it between the 3 things. Wow. Alright, what we're going to be making here is we're going to be making aluminum sheets. And we do not need to touch these. These can just make at that rate. Beautiful! Next up is going to be pulling the other copper bars, which are here. Pulling them and running them over here into another splitter. Connect up. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And then bada bing, bada boom, once water gets in, which it looks like it just did, we should see some production going here, right? There you go. And if we did everything perfectly, this should all just ratio itself out, and we shouldn't need to worry about it. And I'm not going to worry about it. I think it'll work, so we're going to stop paying attention to it. Okay, now the thing we need the aluminum sheets for is way later, so that's done for now. Man, I really hate to say it. I think we're almost done here. We need to get the Caterium Smelting. So let's do that. And I think we can place a blueprint for this. Let's see, smelter. How many smelters do we need? 8? Okay, we have a blueprint that just happens to have 8 smelters on it. And this is all we need for Caterium. Now, do be careful, because if you have the same 8 smelter blueprint I have, it's using Mark III belts. And for this to work, they need to be at least Mark IV. That being said, just turn them all into Mark III. Don't forget the section at the front. And that's that. Then you just run Caterium in. Grab power. And those should all be making. Now, the output you don't have to worry about, because the output is less than Mark III belts. So it's totally fine if it's a little slow and clunky. Okay, there's one last thing that we can get set up. And this is going to take a lot of space, because we're going to lay down 5 particle accelerators. This is going to be what all of the coal we brought over here is for. Oh, that's all I wanted. And yeah, we're going to need a lot of space for this. That should be more than enough, though. So, particle accelerator. One, 2, 3. And we're missing quick wire. Well, I'm not going to wait around for that, because it'll take forever to fill up. So let's head back to the hub, which means we should make some type of hypertube thingy, right? Yeah. Let's try not to line it up with this rock. How about... Yeah, how about one right over here? I don't know. I think if we go... Oh, which way is this facing? This is facing backwards? That's fine. We'll just fix it in post. Yeah, let's just do something like this. I think 3 of these is enough to get back to our base. Could be wrong on that. And then all we're gonna do is turn it around. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, we could just do this and then that to launch us off to infinity and beyond, right? Yeah, it's down, probably close enough. We'll find out. Oh yeah, that'll be more than enough to get us the hub. Beautiful. 4, 5. Wow, we did it. Hooray. Okay. So just double checking. That is 5 particle accelerators. So these are going to be making diamonds. But of course we don't have the ability to make that yet. But we want to get this set up so that it can make diamonds. Diamonds, unless you get any alternate recipes, which we're not going to, only take coal as their input. Now, you might be surprised to find that we just... I don't know why I put splitters in front of all these. Whatever. We happen to have 5 lines of coal ready for us to use. Which, I know, shocking. It's almost like we planned this. Let's take them, I guess, this way. Seems fine to me. So it's almost like this was planned from the beginning. And that's why we went out and got a bunch of coal. Not only do these take coal, but they take coal at an obscene rate. Which you will see the second these things start running. Now, obviously, we're going to get them running as soon as we can, because diamonds are forever. Because diamonds are important, not because they are forever, obviously. And they're hard to make in, like, large quantities. So the sooner we get them running, the better. That's also why we're making 5 of these, to be able to do the stuff we need to in the next phase as quickly as possible. Okay, and that should all be good to go. Ooh, hello. I don't think we are going to ever need diamonds on our person. Is that a true statement? That seems true to me. That seems true to me. But we can go ahead and merge them together. I guess I didn't need that merger there, but that's fine. It's too late now, I already placed it. Can't remove things once you place them in this game, you know. And then I'm just routing them back towards the middle, because my guess is we're not going to be building down past this. Just a guess, though. Also, of course, all of these are going to need power. So we're going to connect them up to each other like so. Okay, and looking at my top bar, something must have gone horribly wrong, because magnetic field generators aren't, like, anywhere close to done. So I'm gonna go investigate that, because we are done here for now. This is all we can do right this second. Number. So I did my math wrong. To make up for it, I'm just gonna sloop it. Unfortunately, there won't be a note in the other video about this. Just because of timing, like, I can't go back and edit it, because I already edited all of it, and it's a 12-hour thing, and I'm not re-rendering it. I don't even know if, like, annotations and videos are still a thing within YouTube system. Hopefully I figured something out, because it would be a shame for you not to be done at this point like I'm not, because this should be finishing up. Okay, so let's make a checklist of the final stuff we're gonna need for space parts. Because that's the last thing we can really do. So all the space parts we've already made here, we need to make again for tier 3, right? Obviously. So what we can do is over here where they've been going in, we can just go ahead, do a little bit of belt separating, put down storage containers, and typically the closer you do this, the better, but... so magnetic field generators is that one, and that's the only one that needs to keep going. That's not true. The assembly director needs to keep going, whichever one that one is. So I guess we'll just hook them all up. Well, I kind of don't want to. It'll be fine. You'll just have to come pick these belts up later, which is not a problem. In the grand scheme of things, not a problem. Okay, so storage containers on the middle of the belts. That way we can start making the excess items that we're gonna need. And, well, let's get those items over here in our sides. I should also note that it is in versatile frames. Because the other thing that they take is versatile frames, and we already have versatile frames down on our list, and this is what versatile frames are used for. So if we instead zero that out and set this to, if I could add it to my to-do list, set this to 256 electro control rods, then we'll be good to go. Now we should just have all this stuff laying around in chests. Some of it we don't even like need to go to chests for, because like, which one takes AI limiters? That's electromagnetic rods. Those are just sitting, you know, freely here. We just go AI limiter. We're also going to intentionally give these a little bit more than they need. That way we really don't have to worry about that. So like, boom, there's AI limiters done. We'll have to go get stators for that. And we're just going to go pick up everything on our laundry list, except for we don't need cable, and any type of space part is made here, so you don't need to make them elsewhere, right? Okay, so with all that said, let's go grab that stuff that we need, and I'll be back here when it's all put in. Also, remember, grab a little bit more of everything just because. If you're like me, it should be time to launch Phase 4 and mark that completed. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. And don't worry if you haven't filled out all the chests and stuff. We'll come back to that once we get our next lines of production running. Because we're going to have, like, hub research to do, and then we're going to have some waiting around to do, and we'll have plenty of time to get all this done. What you can do is, now that we've successfully done this, you can go ahead and remove these conveyor belts. And just throw your space parts in there. That way they just aren't sitting needlessly on conveyor belts. And it'll help you keep track of them. So this one goes here. And then that last one is magnetic field generators.
Phase 4.
And no, Ada, I don't want to talk to you. And no, Ada, I don't want to talk to you. And magnetic field generators go in here. And with any luck, we're actually just done on the 1,000 nuclear pulse. I don't think we are just yet. But, like, that's a lot going in. That feels pretty good. Okay, so just leave all that stuff there on the side. We'll come back to it, but we need to go deal with our new base. Okay, so in tier 3, we need to do essentially everything. I think not these two. That is correct. So you need to do these 3, and you have to do them in order from left to right because they unlock each other. So first we need to get stuff for matter converters, and I think if you're like me, you should have just ran out of fused frames. So that's a little awkward. The rest of the stuff you should have. Fused frames won't take too long, but let's go look at it all the same. Okay, so I just ran by and I checked on my nuclear pastas, and all of these have like 50 pressure cubes in the chamber, and a lot of them have a bunch on the belt, except for this first one. Now, I'm not worried about it like working at 100% efficiency or anything, but what that means to me is we've made enough pressurized cubes. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the pressurized cubes so that we can get these fused frames just a little bit faster. Which is, we're going to come here and sever that connection right there. Because these are what's making fused cubes. And I can't double check that without clicking on these. But there you go, yeah, those are making the fused cubes. And if we have any in here, we can actually link those too. Wink. Wink. Alright, and with the, shut up, Ada, with the matter conversion recipe unlocked here, what this allows us to do is it allows us to make a converter, and converters allow us to make our newest ingot, which is the Ficsite ingot. It also allows us to make diamonds and time crystals, which allow us to make this. And this is just our new space part that we need. So let's go over to our newish Phase 5 factory. First thing, come here to all of these and set them over to diamonds. And yes, you did read that correctly. They do take an entire 600 coal per minute, which is actually insane, the amount of coal these things take. Set this last one to 34%. It'll only take 200 coal per minute. So, diamonds are silly expensive if you ask me, but the alternative recipes make them so much more bearable to make. Unless you just are near, like, a really good coal patch, like I conveniently planned this out for us, right? Alright, now we need 4 converters, and we can't make these right now because we don't have these modular frames. Yay. Something that'll help us with our fused modular frame situation is the second that nuclear pasta is done, we can go and pick those particle accelerators up, because this is all nuclear pasta is. It's just this. It's not used in anything. This is all nuclear pasta is, so we can pick up those and get our things back. But that's okay. Let's go the other way and do some other stuff that also takes converters. Yay! So unfortunately, while we wait for fused frames, there's not much else we can do. So let's go back and finish feeding items into our space parts down there. Okay, and that should be, I think, all the space parts being made, except I ran out of stators, which means you probably did too. And if we both ran out of stators, there's probably only one solution to that, and let's go solve it. So to solve your stator dilemma, obviously, here we have stators for days. Let's just go ahead and pick this belt up. Put a splitter down. Run this into the splitter. Run the extra into industrial storage. This technically will slow down production of things further down the line temporarily while this buffer fills up, but this will just give us some stators to get us over the hump at the end, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So we're going to need to remember that we need to put those into automated wiring, so I'm just going to leave that there. We should now have enough fused frames, yes, to go continue our work, so let's go continue our work. We're going to be a little late to getting, like, the pod launched for the next thing, but that's okay. We're not technically in a rush to beat the game. Okay, so back over here, we're gonna need to place down, I think, 6 converters right now. Is that correct? Yes, and we have all the stuff for that. It's just not all there right now. So we're gonna place down our first couple, which I think is 4, and I don't think we can place that many. That's okay. We have the supplies too. It's gonna take them a second to even themselves out. Let's see. We can do a splitter into this. So converters are kind of cool. They can do kind of a lot of things. That being said, we're not going to use them for like 90% of their use. Because what you can do is you can like change a whole bunch of other stuff into other things. Which is like kind of cool. But again, not what we're here to do. Instead, what we're here to do is we're here to make time crystals. Okay. And this is gonna make some time crystals a minute. I don't remember the number. And I don't think we need time crystals just laying around, if I remember correctly. We're gonna need one more of these. How close are we? What's there? Okay, we'll get that placed down and we'll keep it rolling. Also, if S.A.M Fluctuator is the thing you're missing, you're right next to your S.A.M Fluctuator supply, so just pick a bunch up. Oh, you don't have to wait. Okay, so this last one here needs to be like 34%. Yes. Okay. Nope. Oh, it's facing the wrong way? That's fine. It can face the wrong way. I don't really mind. Oh, it's really whatever. We can face the wrong way. Let's run this into... let's run... Well, that's fine. Okay. Yeah? Uh-huh. Okay, great. Let's run time crystals into here and just get them flowing. So, this, in theory, should consume this at a perfect rate, I think. Or is there something else diamonds are used for? Diamonds are used for something else. Okay. And that something else can come from there. That will work out. But we're not worried about that just yet, because we can't do that thing just yet. Wait, so next, we need to make Ficsite ingots. Which, I can't find them. There they are. So we need 2 more converters. Again, if S.A.M Fluctuation is what you're missing, find your S.A.M Fluctuation and pick it up. I don't even remember where it is on this mess. It's this over here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, where's my converters? Converters! I guess we can do this over here. I don't know why I'm doing this over here, but that's fine. Oh, because my smelting's right here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so this is what the Caterium is going to be used for. You can actually use any resource to do this. Just Caterium is my favorite one to use for this. I don't really have a rhyme or a reason. It's just the one I like to use for this. So if we take the Caterium, run it into here, and then there, we can turn it into Ficsite. Ficsite ingot. Yep. This does require us to do what? To do the thing. Thingy thing. I can't remember what the thingy thing is, though. My brain will work. Hold on. Sam. We need to belt Sam in here. And here we go. We're belting the Sam stuffs. Alright, and there you go. Now, this makes the ingot, and then we have to make it into triangles. Because we're a shape game now. And this only takes 3 constructors per 2, converters. So it's a pretty easy process, all things considered. Just kind of do something like this. Okay. There we go. And then the Trigons. Trigon. Merger those together. Sure, merge them together in the worst way possible. Run that into a storage container as well. I don't know if we need these, like, physically in our hands. We'll dimensional depot them if we need them, but I don't think we do. We just need them being made. Now, I also wanted to sloop this, but I'm kind of out of sloop. And our nuclear pasta's done. So let's go do ourselves a favor, because we don't need any more nuclear pasta for the entire rest of the game. You're done with nuclear pasta, so let's go do ourselves a favor and pick that nuclear pasta stuff up. I'm only going to pick up the particle accelerators and the sloop. That's all I care about. Okay, so we're going to pick up all the particle accelerators. And we're picking up particle accelerators because they are expensive. Particle accelerators do not grow on trees. And this is only because we want to beat the game a little bit faster. If you don't care about beating the game faster, you can just leave it. And we'll just deposit the stuff we're never going to need in here. Which is the pressure cubes and the copper powder. Those can just stay in there. And then we want to take the sloops out of all of these. If you just take one out and then copy and paste the settings, you can really easily remove them without having to go into the UI at all. And obviously that's pretty useful. So we'll be getting all of our sloop back from this, which means the only sloop we have out and about right now is in versatile frames. And we're going to use this to sloop Trigons. And we'll let Trigons be Trigons. Alright, so once you're back here, as I said, sloop your Trigons. And if you really wanted more of these, you could also sloop these. I don't like slooping these because energy consumption goes kind of crazy when you sloop these. So I would rather just sloop these. But if you sloop these, you're quadrupling your output instead of just doubling it. Alright, let's go back to the hub and see if we can get started on the next research, yeah? Alright, and that is quantum encoding set to launch. And quantum encoding gives you access to some new fun stuff. For example, you can make this and that and that and these and, well, you get access to the new building, the quantum encoder that is a thing. It does a lot of things. Yeah, quantum encoders, they're cool. So you could dimensional depot the Trigons and the time crystals, but you just need a couple on you right now. Because we need to make some quantum encoders. And the answer to how many quantum encoders do you need to make is, I don't know, 3. So we just go in quantum encoder, select 3, those are the resources you need to make. It's really not that much, all things considered, and you should already have it by now. So, I don't know, let's just build it over here? Sure. Okay, so first thing you're going to learn about quantum encoders is that they are massive. Look at these things. Oh, and you know what? We can just place down 3 of them right next to each other. Why not? Okay. So here are quantum encoders. We're gonna need 3 of these for now. We'll need more later, but for right now, this is all we need. And we're gonna use 1 for neural quantum processors, which takes things that are made here and supercomputers. And then another one that takes superposition oscillators, which is things that are going to be made here and then something else we're going to import. So 2 quantum encoders making oscillators, 1 making processors. Now, this one is expensive, and it does take supercomputers. So, slooping it isn't the worst option. And remember, if you wanted to start slooped, I think that's supposed to take care of it. It doesn't. Whatever. So, it's worth slooping this, but these are expensive, power-wise. So, be mindful of that. You know, make sure that your, it's not connected. Oops. What I was going to say is make sure that you're probably not going to overflow your power grid, which you aren't if you're consuming right around where I am after all that I've done. Additionally, you'll notice these took some extra things to make, and we need to make those extra things. And we want these up and running ASAP. ASAP. So, first of all, we're going to need 2 storage containers. 1 for the supercomputers that just get fed straight into there. And then 1 for the crystal oscillators that are just going to get fed straight into here. And we are going to be hand feeding these because I don't want to make an entire another supercomputer setup. Do you? I doubt it. Alright, next we need 2 converters. And these converters are gonna make something really fun because it's excited. It's excited funk. I don't know what this is, but that's what it is. Also, this needs to be at 100%. Okay, so 2 100%ers. One of these actually needs to be at 63%. I'm gonna make it 64%. Because it doesn't actually matter if we have more of these. And the only reason to limit them at all, right, is because these machines are purely power suckers. Like, they don't take any resource to make this, but they just consume power. So obviously diminishing that power consumption is of benefit. And then this is a gas, so it's really easy to just take it where you want. And I believe all 3 of these machines need some exciting funk in their life. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is correct. They do all need that in their lives. Beautiful. We're going to continue to work on this one first. And it needs things that we have laying around, and that's what all the stuff we have here is made for. So, these time crystals, I highly recommend you pick up some before you switch it over, because they're basically all going to go into the new recipe. And when I say basically all, I mean basically all. So make sure you have some before you do this, okay? because, yeah, I am getting rid of them, and they're never going to be used again in this way, shape, or form. So that just runs into there. And goodbye time crystals. Now, this won't consume all we're producing, so if you ever need any more, you can just go and yoink them out of here. But this should be enough to finish the game off. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Alright. Same thing with our Trigons. This is kind of the last thing that Trigons are used for. They're technically used for one more thing. But, I mean, in reality, this is it. So if you feel like you want some Trigons on you, pick some up. I don't know how many of those you'll need. Probably not many, but if you have 600 like I do, you'll be fine. And we're just gonna... run this through here, get this plugged in. Then, all we need to do is take some supercomputers. 150 is probably a good start since we're slooping it. And throw them in there. This is going to be a completely hand-fed process, so... deal with it. And then this is just going to run into a storage container for now. If I could place the storage container down correctly. Hooray. We'll also set these up while we're here doing it. Although these ones are going to be a little bit more involved than just plugging in things we already have. So this should be producing... Now, if you notice, it has a byproduct of dark matter residue. And unless... Can you just throw that away here? Oh, that's pretty funny. And we're obviously going to need to utilize that, or it's just going to sit here and overflow. In fact, they all have this as a byproduct. I don't want to do that in curve mode, though. Curve mode sucks for pipes. So let's just connect them all up together. That way they can collect all the dark matter residue. The dark matter residue that these will produce is less than the number 600. So they can all run on the same machine. Except for the fact I feel like I'm going crazy, but yeah. Which for right now, we're gonna utilize it. Let's start utilizing it. There's no for right now. Alright, and to utilize it, we actually need more particle accelerators. Oh, could you, like, place on the ground instead of in the air? That'd be sick, wouldn't it? And of course, as aforementioned, particle accelerators are literally massive. Quite literally, no. Okay, and the number of these we need is 300. And I don't know if there was an update or something. This output's... Oh, it's because I doubled the output. Duh. Doubling the output doubles the byproduct. Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use 3 of these to make what's called dark matter crystals. And these are just going to take our already pre-existing diamonds. Wow, who would have thought? Now, this takes, these 3 machines will take a total of 450 a minute of dark matter. And these 2 machines, 450 minus, these 2 machines produce 250. which means this machine is giving us an extra 150, which means we're missing an entire 100. Which I know, you're really upset. Did I say 100? Is it 100? It's 50, yeah. We're missing an entire 50. And you're really sad about that because you don't know how you're going to live without that extra 50 in your life. Well, don't worry about it. I've got you. That extra 50 is going to come from one final recipe. Which is dark matter residue recipe. And we only need this machine at 50% because we want it to be exactsies. We do not want to overdo this. Otherwise, we have to deal with, you know, byproduct bullshit. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So we just feed this our reanimated SAM, which now means we've made too much reanimated SAM, but that's okay. And that's because I wasn't planning on slooping this in my calculations, but then I did sloop it. And I forgot that was going to double the thing. So do note, if you don't sloop that, so if you don't sloop this one, you need 2 of these running at 100%. I do not need that because I slooped it. But if you want to unsloop it later, which I don't know why you would, because the game's essentially over, you will need 2 converters making dark matter residue, and you do have enough of this SAM to do that. Because I planned for it. And so that should be enough to supply these. Now we just need to make sure that these are getting diamonds from the diamond line. And I told myself I was going to run them out of this one, so I guess we'll do that. Although it's looking a little preposterous right now, but that's okay. Alright, diamonds, let's go on an adventure. And we need to split the diamonds, and because it's into 3, we'll just split it evenly. Why not? Just like so. And then once these have power, if I could remember to do that, this will start making dark matter crystals, which of course need to be fed back into these machines, and I believe this is all they're used for. Yes, this is all they are used for. And I don't think we need these in our inventory in any way, shape, or form. Although I have been wrong before. So let's go ahead, merge these all together. Run this over through here. Find ourselves a splitter. And run them in. And then all we need to do is we need to get our hands on all-clad aluminum sheets, which we're already making. Isn't that crazy? It's almost like I planned all of this. That being said, did I merge them together and put them on a belt? Well, you know. I can't be 100% all the time. What is that? Don't do that to me. I mean, yeah, we can put a splitter right here, that's fine. Alright, then we feed those into those, and then if we just get our hands on crystal oscillators, which we can really easily do, this will all be ready to go. And I should have done this already, I just haven't. Let's make a hypertube over that way. I don't know why I put this off. I've gone like 3 or 4 trips without doing this. I think for how far we're going, a twofer should work just fine. Don't think you'll need more than 2 to make it. Yeah, this with just a little bit of jetpacking is good enough. Now that we're back over here, this is the rest of the stators I need for sure. I'm just going to pick all those up and throw them into automated wiring. And if you need any more for electromagnets, that too, don't forget about that. Electromagnetic control rods. And then I forgot why I'm here. Oh, I'm here for crystal oscillators. White. So a long time ago, I put crystal oscillators in a chest over here. And you can take as many of these as you need and just throw them into our chest over there, and that's going to make them for you. You might need to come back and get more if you're doing the stator stuff like I'm doing right now, which is kind of my bad, but I'll make 2 trips and I'll see you over there in a minute. And there are crystal oscillators all set up. This is more than enough to beat the game, like whatever. So this will take a few minutes here. Not too long at 10 per minute. It'll take 10 minutes. But you need 100 in here before you can do the next milestone. So in the meanwhile, how's about we get started on the space parts? Alright, well, if you're like me, you got your stuff over here, and we're gonna get started on biochemical spheres. I'm actually just gonna build this on the sand itself, because whatever. This takes 3 of these, and we're even gonna try our best to overclock them, although I think overclocking them is kind of a meme. Because do you see how many trigons they take per minute? Well, that's a lot when it's power sharded. So we're gonna max them out for funsies, but I don't think we're gonna be able to keep up with that level of production. So this, if you have the stuff, takes 66 minutes with these 3 machines. And they need stuff that's obviously found around here. So let's start, well, partly around here. The Trigons, I'm gonna be honest, you should just belt them here. It's a little bit of a lengthy journey, and I would have preferred we didn't have to make that journey, but what you gonna do? And it is worth noting, you could bring these to the Trigons. I just want them to auto-insert into the machine, and that makes my brain happy. So I'm just gonna have them go in like this. And like that will work out really fine and dandy. And as I said, it makes me happy. Okay, next, we're gonna need some water, and these take an amount of water. 25 a minute times 3 is nothing. And there's conveniently a large pool of water either direction. It doesn't exactly matter which way you go, so let's head southeast? South, just straight south. And you know what? Well, I don't care about using power poles. Let's just go. I can place a whole bunch of these. In fact, it looks like there's already power somewhere out here. So I could have just stolen from this one, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Just head over to the water here. One water extractor will be more than enough to feed all of that. So, there you go. Now, if you're feeling frisky, you can put down 2. Whoa, I know, you're thinking crazy. 2 water extractors, do you think we can even afford that in this economy? Probably not. Junction there. And I highly recommend, just so you don't have to worry or think, put a Mark II pump line. Just make sure it's facing the right way with your arrow. And give that power as well. So the pump will just make it so that if we accidentally go up 20 meters going over these mountains or whatever, it's not a big deal. We won't have to worry about it. I think it's mostly downhill. But, like, I really just want to make sure it's a non-issue, right? Because if it's a non-issue, then it's just so easy to deal with. You don't even have to think. No thinking. Head empty. Now, I will acknowledge that if you wanted to, this is another time that trains could be great. Right? Where is the space elevator? It's this way. I went the wrong way. Haha. This could be another time that trains could be really useful. But it's ultimately just like a preference-based thing as to whether you'll want to do it with trains or not. This is just faster, which is why I'm doing it this way, right? I often find that, especially at the end of the game, fastest is best. And I'm assuming these will get water eventually, so let's not worry about that. Let's instead worry about making the trip all the way across the universe with this belt. Which, let's see, the belt. So this is important to know before you leave here. How fast does this need to come in? And it needs to come in at least 300. Which means once you run out of Mark 5 materials, you can switch over to Mark 4 materials. Because Mark 4 is still fast enough to supply all these. And really, if you want to know the truth, we're not producing that fast anyways, and yada yada yada. Now, while I'm placing this down, you might be wondering, okay, but why aren't we just hand-feeding this? The short answer is, it needs something like 20,000 Trigons. And I don't know if you know this, but 20,000 of those is a lot. And moving that by hand is kind of a pain in the butt. So if you just do it this way and let it figure itself out, it'll be so chill. And then, as I said, we're going to switch over to Mark 4s because they are still faster than we need. Fortunately, that being said, it looks like we're going to run out of materials before we make it there. No, it's so far away. Who did this? Me, I did this. We go back to Mark 5 for a bit. And then it's time to introduce the forbidden technology. That's right, we're gonna split it into 2 lanes. Because I am too lazy to go and just pick up more aluminum sheets. Hey, by the way, if I were you, I would just pick up some aluminum sheets, okay? It was a little longer journey than I thought it was going to be. But that's okay. 2 Mark III belts will get the job done just fine. And why 2 Mark III belts? Because again, that adds to more than 400. That being said, as we come down here, we need to bring it down with a Mark V lift. Right there. Where we're going to place a cute little, not merger, splitter. Cute little splitter. Run this into there. And then, wow, look at us and our cute little belts. I will say, this is simply the worst belt line I have ran, maybe ever, in the history of me playing this game. This is simply the worst. Also, I put my hover pack away again instead of equipping it to fly. I don't know when they made this change, but this change is awful and I hate it. Alright, so Biochemical Sculptors we'll be making, and I'm gonna guess we should now have our 100 thingamabobs in here. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, let's go get the next hub upgrade, which we're gonna need to see what it takes so that we can do it, but let's go get it. Alright, and then last but not least, whatever this is, I think this just, like, it unlocks a teleporter that, like, who cares? And then it unlocks some final recipes for us to finish the game off with. Woohoo. So, now we're ready just to lay down the last things we need. Let's look at AI expansion servers. Which I believe aren't too bad. They do take dark matter residue, which is whatever. You just feed it some. It's not a big deal. 256... Oh, sorry, it by-produces dark matter residue, which is also not a big deal. It's fine. In fact, if we're clever, we can throw it away. We're probably not that clever, though, so we'll do something stupid. And you'll appreciate the stupid part. This is going to take 256 of both of those, which we don't have yet. And then it's going to take Excited Fog, which is just a free resource. So, let's go make that. Oh, also, I'm back here at our biospheres, and I did forget to mojo them. Whoops. So, let's just go ahead and merger, run that into there. Which, yep, great. It's also good to see that, hey, look, they're getting water, they're getting Trigons, it's working, it's running. It's also running as fast as it can, everything seems to be good and overstocked, which is great. Again, those are going to take about 60 minutes to finish, assuming they get all the resources they need. So next up, we need a quantum encoder, and, yeah. This is the last one we're placing of the entire game. Beautiful, I think it looks great right there, don't you? Heck yeah. Alright, so this quantum encoder is going to need 2 hand-fed items. Because we're making AI expansion servers. Now notice, it's gonna give us dark matter residue. No! We're gonna have to figure out something to do with dark matter residue. Ow. Oh, I didn't take damage. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. We're gonna do a thing I call cheating. It's not exactly cheating, and I haven't figured out. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to do any math on this. Who needs to do math? In fact, let's super cheat. Blueprint. It's blueprint time. It's been a while, blueprint time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a buffer. So I guess it doesn't really matter where you put it. And then we're gonna place another buffer in line with that. And then I guess that's all we have room for in here, and that's okay. So all we're gonna do is we need to run this all a little bit further back. My bad. Make sure there's space on both sides of this. In fact, we can get even crazier. We can probably put, like, some in here like this. Whoa. Whoa, we're getting crazy. Alright, and then give them hats as well. Alright, wow. Look at all the fluid buffers. So we're just going to connect all of the bottom ones like that. We're going to make this one the starting connection. And then we're going to connect upwards. And we'll connect around. And around. And then we're going to bring this one down. Sure, it can be crooked. I don't care. And we're going to bring it to right there. And then what are we just going to call this? Sure, we can set it to like a pink. Buffers. Oh my god, isn't that beautiful? Aren't you excited about your newest blueprint that you're totally going to, like, really care about? Alright, so why did we do this? Well, because I want to make life simple, and I want to auto-connect. Oh my god, look how crazy that is. And so now, with very little effort, we can place down a bunch of buffers. And what do these buffers do, you might ask? They just store the fluid we don't want to touch. And by the fluid, I mean dark matter. I'm just going to place down, I don't know, how about 4 of these? How does that sound? Sounds good to me. I guess 3, because I don't have any more plastic. 3 sounds better. Maybe we'll place the 4th one down later. And I don't know if this is enough to store all of the stuff. I mean, we can do some simple math. It's 2,400 times 8 times 3 is 57,600. Now, this says it's going to produce 6 million, but I don't know if that's right because of the way that they calculate it. So the way I look at this is this produces 100. So it produces 25 per. So if we just take this number and divide it by 25, it's enough. It's way more than enough. Awesome. Sick. Love it. In fact, you can ask the question, did we need as much? No. God, no. We didn't need this much space at all. But here's the thing. I don't want to think about it. I just want the stuff to go away. And, well, now it's going to go away. Okay, how much excited fonk do we need? 100 a minute? Not quantum encoder. It's called the converter. And the converter just takes power, turns it into fonk at 200 a minute. And since we only need 100 a minute, we can just set it to 50. Wow. Okay, then we're supplying those 2 things by hand, and the third thing that we need is one of these. Which one of you is magnetic generators? Is that you? Yes, it is. Alright, so we take magnetic generators, we plug them in, then we get 2 tiny storage containers. Sure, we can even cross them. Look at how cool that is. And then once we hand feed, this will be producing. So we can just take the output and run it into there. And of course, don't forget to sloop this, because... Not sloop this. Well, you could sloop this, if you really wanted to. It would technically make things faster. But we're going to overclock it. Which means this takes 250 a minute. So... Overclock it. Aha! Remember to overclock this, guys, not underclock it. Teehee. I forgot this was, yep. Doing all that. Okay, last but not least, it is time for... manufacturing? Yeah, manufacturer. Where can I put this? Over here? Sounds great. Yeah, it looks great, too. And this is going to make ballistic warp drives, which you can see is going to take things we already have, things we can get, things we already have, and singularity cells, which, if I'm not mistaken, singularity cells take nuclear pasta. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I forget that they take nuclear pasta? I forgot. Guys, chat, I'm cooked. Chat. How many do we need? Okay, so I did forget about one thing regarding nuclear pasta, which is that, oopsies, we need a little bit more of it. Now, the good news is, it's a pretty easy fix. We're just gonna slide one of these particle accelerators roughly back in its spot, which means you do need to reconnect the belts when you do this, by the way. Oopsies. And oh look, that belt even already has pressure cubes on it. That's probably not enough, but that's okay. Yeah, so we're just gonna reconnect this like that. And get this power. I did forget that singularity cells take nuclear pasta. Oh no. Alright, if you're worried about it, here's the thing. Don't be. This will make, and this actually has enough cubes, I think, because I already have some nuclear pasta. Right, this is gonna take, what, 50 minutes? This is gonna take an hour. But if you just do this and overclock it, right, so if you just overclock it like it was before, you'll get this done in 50 minutes, which is faster than the ballistic warp drives will make anyways, so I promise it'll be fine. So you just need one machine overclocked, put them back on this line, which they can go straight into there. Just make sure it has enough stuff to make 50, which, given that I just picked up 20, and there were like 47 in there, it'll make 50, no problem. Okay, so that is 4 singularity cells. Those are needed. We're gonna have to get dark matter crystals, and bring them over here. Now, you and I both did some learning together, which is if we're gonna belt them over here, which I think we should, because that just makes the most sense to belt them over here. So if we're gonna belt them over here, we should do that with aluminum sheets, and we should grab some more aluminum sheets. Am I gonna belt them, though? Yeah, I am gonna belt them. It's a lot to belt. As for the rest of the stuff, in fact, something that will help. Yeah. Alright, so then this will be concrete. This will be iron plates. And something we're gonna do to help us out here is we're going to sloop singularity cells, so we only need 250 of them. This will reduce the number of everything. It'll reduce the number of everything. Now, if you remember correctly, we have sloop in other places, which should now be doing probably nothing. I'm going to guess neurals are done. We probably have all 256 neurals that we're going to need. So we'll take them back. And we're going to sloop this as well. So what does that do? What does slooping this do? Well, slooping this means that we only need 50 of them. Aha! which means we only need 250, which means we only need 125. And that is significantly cut down the numbers we need. So we're going to get... I don't have enough sloop on me, right? No, I'm really close, though. We're going to pick up our sloop. In fact, the versatile frames are probably done. Let me go check on those. Because they're right here, and they already have sloop in them, so... You know. Versatile frames. Oh, yeah, they're done. So let's just take that out right now. And let's feed that to this machine, which is then going to take singularity shell cells, a storage container of items, and a storage container of items, right? Yep. Oh, well, that's not true. One of these is the rocket parts, which are these. Yep, so there are the rocket parts. This here is going to take dark matter crystals. That's going to take dark matter crystals. I'm just going to go get some aluminum sheets, and we'll just run another belt across the world. Is running another belt across the world the smartest thing I've ever done? No, but it'll work, so... Alright, so I'm back with a metric buttload of aluminum sheets. And all we're going to do, and this is really clever, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, we're just going to follow the other line of belts. Also, fun fact, make your belts intentionally shorter than the maximum so you don't have to, like, keep messing up and clicking, well, taking longer. You'll click more this way by making them a little bit shorter, but long run it'll be easier. So, highly recommend, and then you can kind of keep your speed as you go, too. Which will make this trip significantly faster. Yes, the stuff over here would have stopped producing because we weren't using all of the dark matter crystals. Because I intentionally made more for the space parts. So, the stuff over here might not be done just yet, but that's okay. Let's see how we're doing. That's pretty close on these, and these might actually be done. They're not, but it's also pretty close. Oh, okay, we do have all the neural quantum processors, and we have most of the superposition oscillators. So, let's get things started over here. This requires 256, I believe, yes, of both of these. So, we're going to put all of the purple on one side. Hooray. And then we're going to put all of those there. Yeah, there'll be a few extras in the system, but that's okay. And we're going to put them all into there so that we can go into AI expansion servers and put them down as a 0, thus eliminating the need for anything on our sidebar there from that, which allows us to solely focus on the fact that we need concrete and iron plates, which, I mean, between you and me, let's just get this started, am I right? Boom, there's iron plates. Boom, there's concrete. Now all it needs are the dark matter crystals, and at least this will get started. And then this just needs the superposition oscillators in addition, and it'll get started. So, we're coming around. I'm going to go get the rest of the iron plates and the concretes and put those in. And then I think we're just ready to end the game. I think we're just ready to go AFK. Pretty sure. Oh, no, not yet. We need more superposition oscillators. We need 100 more superposition oscillators before we can just go AFK. Alright, so there's the iron and the concrete loaded in. To make one minor change to the crystals here, we're going to put down an industrial storage. And this is something we should have done earlier, but it's okay. And what it'll let us do is store the crystals, and by storing the crystals, they'll never, well, they won't backlog for a while, which means these are going to be free to just get producing. Also, let's overclock this, because power is not a concern. And if this isn't overclocked, which it should be, oh, and if this isn't overclocked, which it should be, let's also do that, so that that's not a concern. Okie dokie, all that's left is those 100 superposition oscillators, so let's go make sure we get those, and then I think we're just ready to have the game end, which is exciting. Alright, so things you might be thinking since you're clever. We're done with neural quantum processors, so maybe we just flip this off. And if you do that, it's fine, but you need to account for the fact that you're losing 150 dark matter residue, because we do still need these crystals, right? So if you just come over here, that'll get you to 200, and if instead we go to 150 plus 50 is 200, yeah, that's what we want. If you just go ahead and overclock this twice so that it consumes 100 per minute, don't worry, we have the stuff for it. This was planned for. That'll make up for the entire 150 that was lost from this. So that'll keep everything over here flowing without stopping these from running. That being said, where I'm at right now, I have 62 in here. I'm going to go deliver them, and then I just need to do 48 more. But I want to get the ball rolling on these ballistic missiles. Chat, I'm stupid. That was supposed to be set to 100. So yeah, because there were supposed to be 200. Right, which means we need 250 of these. Which doesn't change anything besides the concrete and the iron, really. Oh, and the superposition oscillators. I now need more superposition. You know what? This might sound insane. I'm just going to run a belt for superposition oscillators. Chat, I don't want to think. It's been a long satisfactory run. We're running belts. I don't give a rip when anyone thinks. We're running a belt. This belt's going to take us all the way to the moon. This is all we need superposition oscillators for. I do not care if you think it is lazy. I do not care if you don't want to do this. You can move them by hand if you wish. But I'm doing this, and then I'm going AFK. After I get more iron and more concrete. Alright, with that connected, all that's left to do is shove even more iron and concrete into here and not think about it. That is where we're at. This is making, after the first one makes, which is going to make it an odd number, but I don't give a rip. This will need, what, 200 at 5 a minute. It's 40 minutes. This should take 40 minutes to finish up here. So, yeah. Let's make sure this is nice and hooked up here. Beautiful. That should be all space parts being made in a semi-autonomous way. That is going to require zero intervention from me, myself, and I. I'm just going to get more iron and more concrete. I'm just going to load up my inventory with that, bring that over here, and then we're going to call it a day. Alright, I picked up all the iron I had, and I picked up as much concrete as could fit in my inventory, and that will be more than enough to ensure that this finishes all on its own, and that I don't have to do anything. So I am no longer worried about it. I am going to completely AFK the last, I don't know, 50 minutes of this run, this playthrough, and that'll be it. I'll cut to the end, so I proved that I finished the game, but the game's over right now. This is it. Did I finish a little jank? Is the end of phase 5 terrible? Yes. Could I have done it better? Yes. Did I want to do it better? No. I don't think these are going to overfill. That's the only thing that can go wrong at this point that I can think of. If something goes wrong, I'll let you know. But if these are going to overfill, you can just flush all of it. I'm not going to flush it because I want to make sure they don't overfill. But they shouldn't. So, I guess I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, so, well, we're not finishing quite on time. And one of the reasons is dark matter crystals are just slow. And oscillators are done. So you could just keep waiting, but I want this to be faster. And, you know, if you skip, like, just a little bit ahead, you can get some tips that can make it go faster for you as well. So let's head out there and look at what's going on. Okay, so first thing I noticed is that this is producing at max production, but because these two are still consuming 30 a minute, it really reduces our output or our throughput. So if we just reship the dark crystals on their way and bypass these, because these have already made more than enough for me. And once they have made, or at least collected, enough dark matter crystals to make more than enough for you, then that's, you know, probably a good thing to do. So that's one thing that will help. In doing that, note that you're losing a bunch of dark matter residue. You're going to lose, what, 250? Oh, wait, this one's turned off. I was like, what? Yeah, 250, because it's 125 times 2, right? Oh, we need to make that up somehow. And best I can do is looping this so we get 400 a minute. 400 a minute isn't great, but it is enough to get the job close to done. It's close, but we can't really do too much else. So I don't think we have, like, these are still making, how much do these consume? 60 a minute? Okay, so you could disconnect this, right? Actually, you could just even disconnect, because this is all balanced, right? Yeah, you could just even disconnect only one of these, and just completely shut off one of these. That'll get you an extra 60 a minute. And that extra 60 a minute can be used here. Oh, you don't even need the whole extra 60 a minute. There you go. So, I didn't need to disconnect that line. I'm gonna actually go put that back. So instead of disconnecting that from here, what we can instead do is just turn it off. Just turn it off, and that should take care of this side of things. So that'll make dark matter crystals faster, and then let's come over here and take a look at Ficsite. Which, like, I know that it is backed up. But that's not because of anything going on here. It's just that's how much we have, right? 15 times 8? Yeah. So, can't really do too much with this. We obviously could sloop it. And that's probably the move. Because then we can just eke out a little bit more from this. And we actually have extra sloop laying around, and I didn't write it down, but okay, well, it turns out there was a sloop right here all along. I didn't find one in my nuclear pasta, but I thought there was, which is why it's important to keep notes on where it is, even though I didn't do that. But there was just one right there, so I'll just pick that up, and it'll be fine. We can pretend that we never did anything wrong. So what does this allow us to do? It allows us to sloop both of these. And by slooping both of these, first of all, hopefully we're not putting too big of a dent in power. Ah, no, we're still fine. As long as we're not producing everything all at once, which we aren't. So this is going to put us up to 60 a minute. And we're consuming 10 a minute on each one. So if we just do that and overclock them like so, we'll then be producing 360 a minute. Now, this wasn't really necessary because as you can see, we're kind of almost done with biospheres. Well, didn't take that much longer, AFK. I kind of wasn't even paying attention to them, to be honest. I missed it. I don't know when we finished, but we did, and that's pretty dang exciting. Well, I guess wouldn't be a full walkthrough if I didn't show how to do the endgame sequence, because, you know, it's pretty difficult stuff here. If you made it this far, you might struggle with the endgame sequence, so let's, you know, make sure you know how to do it. Because you have to go... Do you have to go to the control panel? I think you do. Ah, no, you don't. You can just do this wherever. So, you gotta follow the instructions up here. Check the oil. Oh, it's checked. Oh my god. In fuel injection to 5. What? Activate bus B1, I think. Stabilizer left 9. Right stabilizer to 4. Gyroscopic X balancer on. Y balancer on. Z balancer on. Alright, here's the thing. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it. And here's why I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to look at it because you're going to complete the game and you're going to go see what happens. Me? I'm not going to see what happens. I've seen it before. I don't need to see it again. I know what happens. You, on the other hand, you need to experience it for yourself. So I hope this guide has been helpful to you, to someone, to anyone. I have no idea if this was useful. Especially this last section, it felt like a little bit of a mess. Because as much as I planned it out, it just didn't matter. It just didn't matter how much I planned it out. It didn't seem like everything was going perfectly. But there you go. There's the game. Man, I'm going to cut myself off here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope this helped.